Right, TM Warrior Nation, Cherokee fans, and the surrounding areas. Welcome to another episode of the TM Thursday podcast. This is the day where we talk Tuloso Midway athletics and sports. And right now, we're going to talk Tuloso Midway Warrior baseball. And on the screen, we have the head man there for Tuloso Midway, Coach JK Moody. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having us.
Yes, sir, Coach. Here we're going to get with the boys here, and then I want to get to the game with your brother. I saw all the stuff that was going on, and I know you guys want, so congratulations on the win against Colbert. That was awesome, and I definitely want to get your thoughts on all the emotion that was running. I know your family was down there, and we'll get Coach's thoughts here in a bit. But on the screen behind him, we have two of his varsity players. I think we have number 4, Landin. 4, Landin, how you doing?
They're going to go tell these guys to be quiet. They're loud in the locker room.
It always is, right? It's always loud out there.
Yeah, it's loud, yes. We get them right at the athletic period, so sorry.
No problem. No problem. So is Landin number 4 and Erik number 7?
Yes, sir.
So so you see the two varsity baseball players there for Tuloso Midway, number 4, Landin. 4, Landin, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm great, man. Thank you for coming down, spending a few minutes here with us. And then number 7, Erik Flores. Erik, how you doing?
Good, sir.
Thank you guys again for coming out and spending a few minutes with us here on the podcast. We always love it when you guys come on, because when the players come on, our viewership goes up. When it's just me and Coach, it's okay. But when the players come on, everybody tunes in. So that's awesome. Our last one, Coach, I think we hit over 900 views a week ago. So
Sweet.
The last podcast, we were over 900 this morning, which is really good. It says a lot of people are paying attention, and that's what we want to do. So, guys, before we get going, I do want to talk to you guys about your performance in the last 2 games that you guys had. You guys played Beeville at home, and then on Monday, you guys went to Whataburger Field. You guys had big games. One, I had a big game. I think, Erik, you had the big game against Beeville, so I definitely want to get your thoughts on your performance. I think Landin had a really good game against Colbert, so we'll get your thoughts on your performance there. But I'd like to kind of introduce you to the community. So we'll go with Landin. Landin, are you a senior? What's your classification there at Tuloso Midway?
Landin, your classification.
I'm a senior, yes, sir.
You're a senior. And do you play any other sports there?
I run track.
Oh, that's awesome. Track is bad. I love track. And so at what age did you start playing baseball?
Sir?
At what
When
age
did you start playing baseball?
I started playing baseball when I was 5.
Wow. So you've been doing it for quite some time. And how's everything going there at Tuloso? How's it going there at Tuloso Midway? I mean, how long have you been playing there since you started?
Sir, sorry.
Have you guys been playing there? Have you been playing like middle school? Did you start there playing baseball with Tuloso Midway High School?
Yes, sir, in high school.
Awesome.
Yes, how long you been here?
Oh, I moved here earlier in my last year.
Okay. What position do you play for the Warriors? What position do you play?
What position?
I play center field.
Center field. Awesome. Well, let's get here to your performance. You had a great game against Beeville. Let me kind of look at the numbers here real quick. Against Beeville, you guys got the win 5-0. You were 2 for 3 with 1 run. So that was a really good game. You shut Beeville out. Can you talk a little bit about your performance against Beeville? No, that was Erik.
You're talking about Erik or Landin?
I think it was Erik. Erik had the big game, right, Coach, against Beeville?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Erik.
That's your performance against Beeville.
Well, it was overall a good performance. We struggle to put the bunt down sometimes, but bunting is kind of I take bunting as like a easier way to see the pitcher, easier way to see the pitch coming. And I've never complained about bunting. I'm always a guy to do a job, and I'm willing to put it down for the team. So I got good wheels. So usually when I put it down, I could leg it out and make something happen and get a rally going. So I'm always willing to bunt.
Which is what he did in that game. Had a huge bunt.
Had a huge bunt down third to get a bases full.
Yeah.
And bases juiced, and just gave the bat to the next person. Just kept it going.
Erik, when um, give me a second. Erik, when I went to go see you guys in one game that I've been out there so far, it was very impressive. I think the team, you guys are strong on the lineup, obviously, but the fielding was really, really good. I was telling coach that when I went to that game, everything seemed repetitive. It didn't seem like when the ball was hit, even from the outfield, the infield, it just kind of looked like everyone was just kind of on cruise control in terms of just throwing. It didn't seem like there was any type of bobbling. Everything was routine. It seemed like. When you guys have practice, what are some of the things as far as fielding that you guys work on to get you guys ready for game day?
We do lots of coverages. We have our first and thirds. We go through a lot of fielding. We do bunt coverages almost every Wednesday. Wednesdays are defensive days, strictly only defense. And we go out there for maybe 2 hours, just going through our defensive plays, and then we work our get-offs, first and thirds, make sure everything's on point, because if it's not, when it comes to game day, you're not going to be ready. And we don't go through the motions on practice. I think Coach Vela makes it very high standards on going through the motions. So we got to make everything look good and crisp. On Wednesdays, those are our defensive days. So our defense goes pretty smooth.
And it shows because the first time I seen you guys play, I was watching the warm up, right? And then it just it just continued through the game. I was like, man, these guys, it seems natural to them, right? Sometimes you see players, they bobble it, when you look at the motion, they might get the out, but the way they're picking the ball up, the way they run to the ball doesn't look normal, right? It's just kind of like still a bit of a struggle and you're quickly to throw it. I was watching that one side, the shortstop, and he had a good arm, but everything just kind of went in motion and they were just kind of looking at it. It's just repetitive. Everybody was just kind of throwing it. And I was all wild throughout this game, man. These guys really got this thing down where everyone's doing it. It wasn't just one or two. It just looked really, really nice from a fan's point of view. And I thought, well, I'm going to ask one day, what is it that they work on that it just kind of seems routine for them where everyone is doing it and it looks really, really good. Obviously, it's very effective. Errors in the game can cost you, especially in a close game. You guys are going to be in a district now that's very, very close, right? It may come down to an error that you don't want to make. So I think attention to detail, I guess you could say, you guys, the coaches out there, really got you guys focused on what you guys need to do. And it definitely showed in that game. So I just kind of wanted to ask what it was that you guys were doing. So let's stay with you, Erik. So how long have you been there at Toloso Midway?
Since 5th grade, sir.
So you're a Warrior through and through. How long have you been playing baseball?
Since I was 3.
You play anything else?
I played a little bit of football.
When you say a little bit of football, then we know the next question is baseball is your favorite sport because you said it's just a little bit of football.
He was our leading receiver in football this year.
Oh, no, really?
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, I mean, multiple sports are good. Every kid, I think, has one sport that they love more than the others. I mean, you can play them all, but, or maybe you're better at one than the other. I'm not sure, but you would say baseball is your sport, correct?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Awesome. So district is coming up, right? Do you think this team is prepared? Because I look at this district, Erik, and I'm thinking like, man, this district is going to be good. For the fans, they should love it, right? You got Robstown coming in here in a couple of games. I think what makes it interesting, not just the players, they got talent, we got talent, but the fans. I hear fans get into it, right? Like they're very passionate about their team. We're very passionate. That makes for really good baseball. Do you think right now, with every game that you played in the non-district and everything, the tournaments, you feel this team is now ready to go tomorrow to start district?
Yes, sir. I'm fully aware that we're ready. We're ready to put the pedal to the metal and just go.
I bet. Got to defend that title, right? They're coming after you guys, man. Everybody knows. Everybody wants it. So you're going to get the best shot from every team, from Cal Allen to Robstown to Zapata to whoever else you play. They're coming for you guys. So I'm sure you guys know that and you're well prepared. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your pitching because I think this team, I follow you guys on Game Changer when I'm not there watching it. And there's a lot of ways that Tuloso Midway can win. But I think the strength of the team, and correct me guys if I'm wrong, it would be the pitching. Is that accurate in saying that, Coach?
Yeah, pitching and defense, and just doing the small things right.
When you look at your pitchers, because like Coach used, I think it was against Beeville, I think is where I saw it. He used, I think it was Emmanuel, if I'm correct, and then
Yes, sir.
and he had a great game with 5 innings pitched, but then he went to that one pitcher, I think,
Jackson Hermes.
yeah, and then Osby, and they came in those two, and they shut it down. I mean, they gave up nothing, right? How important is it when you know, Erik, that you've got these arms there, right? That at any time in a close game, you can go to 5 or 6 different pitchers. Because I think you guys may have an advantage over other teams that you play that they're not as deep into that pitching like Tuloso Midway. How important is that for you guys?
I think it's very important. Well, we have a lot of depth in our pitchers right now, and that's what I love, and I love catching all of them. And, well, we're a big contact team. That's why we take so much pride in our defense. Our defense is our number one thing. That's our key. And we're a big contact team. We let them put it in play, and our defense makes all the plays.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing is your pitching is really good, right? And even when they do get hits, I mean, like I saw, I think it was Benavides out there. You don't want to hit the ball out there. That guy's going to catch everything. He's probably going to go through the fence and catch it if it goes to the outfield. He's so fast. He's so good out there. That one game I saw, very impressed with the movement that he had out there. Man, not too much is going to drop out there. But I think it's great for you guys to have that depth. And then, like you said, the fielding, we talked about that, how good it is that if they do get a hit, it's really tough for an offense. As good as that defense is, the fielding, they got to find a spot out there. And if you play that good defense, right, not too much out there that they can put it. So it's the way you guys play defense. I think it's harder for offenses to have to try to get runs on you guys. Defense wins championships in football. I'm sure it does the same thing in baseball. So that's awesome. Now you turn tomorrow, you got to travel to Zapata. I got to ask you, man, how do you guys, you got to do it. How much more difficult is it to travel 2+ hours to go play them?
Gets me excited, ready to go beat them on their turf.
Really? Coach,
sir.
is it just Zapata that you're going to go to? Or is there another Valley team that's in the district?
It's just Zapata.
Okay. So it's not like football where you got to go down there twice.
No, sir.
Do you guys think at all that the long drive, because that's the longest drive, does it ever, you feel like, have some type of an effect? I know the kids, the players and coaches are never going to blame the drive, but it is a long drive. They got to do it too when they come here. But for you guys, do you ever see that maybe it affects the players driving that long back, going and then coming? Don't have no effect? Just go
No,
out.
sir. I don't really think the drives will carry into our game. No, sir.
Awesome. Well, that's great, man. I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow, watching it on Game Changer. Obviously, I can't get out there, but I want to wish you luck, Erik, tomorrow. And Landin, I mean, I think it starts tomorrow, right? And then you got to come back home, and you play Robstown, and you know they're going to come with their crowd, and we're going to have our crowd, and it's going to make for great baseball. So I'm definitely looking forward to the next 2 games. And Landin, I'll go over to you now, and your performance here against Colbert. So you were, let's see if I wrote this correctly here. It was Erik that had the good game. I think I wrote it wrong, Coach. Is that correct?
No, Landin was 3 for 3 against Colbert with 3 RBIs, a triple, 2 singles, and 2 runs.
Okay. 2 runs and three RBIs. There you go. 3 for 3, 2 runs, 3 RBIs. Landin, talk about your performance there. First of all, what's the feeling like to be playing at Whataburger Field?
It's amazing. It felt good for all of our fans to come fill up the seats that we could, and we had a lot of energy going into the game. We get to play our coach's brother, and I'm pretty sure he wanted to beat them just as bad as we did. And
Probably worse. I probably wanted to win worse. So
Coach came out and said, he said, we ain't taking it easy. He said, we're gonna go, we're trying to get the win. And he definitely did in dominating fashion. Like I said, I saw some of the highlights. Everyone loves to play at Waterbury. There's something about that atmosphere playing out there. It's really nice. Preparing for the game. Talk about the preparation. Obviously, I don't know if it has a little bit of more zoom to it, but you're playing another team that's not from a different state. Um, how more excited were you or are you because they're coming from a different state versus playing another team from Texas? Does it make a difference to you?
yes, sir. It's cool that they get to come all the way out there from OK to come play us, and they have some pretty good guys, hitting wise and pitching, and it's just fun to see everything.
They had some power. I saw some of those guys hitting it pretty close to the fence out there. So some of the stuff that they got. Coach, they're ranked, aren't they? Up there? I think they're a smaller school than we are, but they're ranked, aren't they? At Oklahoma.
yeah, the week before they were number 1 in the state, and then they dropped to number 2 this week when we were playing them.
They're coming down. I don't know if I read, Coach. Did they have another game while they were here?
Yeah, they played a team out of Waco, just outside of where my family moved from when we came back to Corpus 3 years ago. They stopped there, and then they played us, and they played Mathis on Tuesday night, and they headed back, and they'll start their district play. It's a little bit different up there than it is here, but they'll start their games that are meaningful towards their regional standings.
Awesome. Well, guys, I got one more question for you, and Erik, I'll go to you. You got to try with Zapata. What do you guys have to do? I don't know much about Zapata in terms of I don't know how good their baseball program is out there. I'm definitely going to ask Coach that question in a bit. But what do you know about them, and what do you guys need to do to start District 1-0?
I know they have one guy for sure, so we just got to jump on him early as soon as we get out there. We get the sticks first, so I mean we got to strike first that first inning. I know they're gonna have their guy on the mound probably, so we just got to jump on him first, play our game with our small ball, or find gaps if we can, and just stomp on them early.
Yeah, I think you guys, like I said, everyone's coming for you, but this team is deep in the areas it needs to be. And I think hitting wise, I mean, you guys got a lot of power, right? A lot of ways to play this, and so hopefully we go out there and we make a statement. Obviously, in district against Zapata to let everyone know, man, it's not going to be easy to play us this year. You're coming, we're ready, we're focused, we're ready to defend our title. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to those games. Landin, I'll go to you. Then after that, you come back home. You're taking on Robstown. I don't know if it's easy, if it's okay to call it a rivalry, but they were a top. That's always a good program. They got a good coach out there now, first year. He's going to make that team better if they're not there already. What are you expecting from Robstown in the first district go around?
We know they got a guy. They have a lefty over there too, and same thing there. We need to jump on him right off the bat. I mean, we're gonna have the sticks too, and take it to him, and just never let up.
Did y'all sweep them last year, 2-0?
No, sir, we split.
Split 1-1. Okay, I know they lost a couple of their guys. There were some seniors. I can't remember all their names, but I know I saw them play last year. I think they graduated 1 or 2 that I remember offhand.
Yeah, Rocky was a big one. They lost the shortstop.
There you go, Rocky. There you go. There you go. He was the guy.
Coach Miller's a really good coach. He's a really good friend of mine, and he did great things at Banquetti and everywhere he's ever been. So Coach will have him ready.
Yes, I read up on him too, and what he was doing out at that small school out there, and how he had him going playing well. So he's going to do the same thing for Rostown. But look, this is how you want it, right, guys? I mean, you want to get the best from those guys. You don't want to play a team. They're coming at you. You want their best. So when you beat them, you beat them at their best, right, Coach? Before I let the boys go, I want to talk about injuries. Is everyone healthy going into district? Is there everyone that's on the team able to play?
Yeah, knock on wood again. We're all healthy.
Awesome. I know that's going to be important. No matter how deep you are, you need everybody out there especially when district counts here. These games count, right? So you can't have a letdown. Guys, thank you very much for coming down and spending some time with me. I really appreciate it. And I'll give you the final word. Erik, anything you want to add? Any shout outs you want to give out before we let you go?
No, sir.
Good luck. Good luck tomorrow. Safe travels up there and back, man. I hope when it's all said and done, I'm looking at Game Changer and we're 1-0 in district. That'd be awesome. Landin, I'll give you an opportunity. Any shout outs? Anybody you want to say hello to?
Shout out to my parents and shout out to the TM community that all comes out and support us.
Absolutely. It's going to get rowdy out there, and I hope to be out there for a few games. Looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to it since football season. I've been hearing about how it gets rowdy out there. So I just want to be a small part of being able to be out there and watch those games. Guys, thank you for coming out. Good luck, safe travels, and we'll talk to you soon. Coach, I do want to get your thoughts here on the Beeville game. It was a good game. You guys played them on Saturday. It was a Saturday game. You get the shutout win 5-0. We talked to Erik here. He was the guy that had a really good game, 2 for 3, 1 run. Landin had 1 run, 1 walk. But on the circle in that game, he had Emmanuel Reyes. He pitched 5 innings, gave up 1 hit, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Then you brought in Jackson Hermans. He pitched that 1 inning, basically shut them out. And then you finish out the game with Osby Wendell. We've had him on here, and he basically gave out nothing. Talk to us a little bit about that performance, what you saw from them. But what's impressive to me are the pitchers. Once again, 3 pitchers that really shut that team down. Couldn't do nothing against you guys. Impressive.
Yeah, Emmanuel Reyes got the start and got the victory for us. He was on here last week with Max and with Osby. He did a great job through 5 strong innings, and really, caused some problems for their offense. And then Jackson came in, got a good quality inning out of Jackson. Real short, quick inning by Jackson. I think he threw single-digit pitches. And then Osby came in and did the same thing in the 7th, threw a single pitch, didn't get in double digits in the pitch count. Once goes back to what Erik was saying, we're, pitch to contact, let our defense work and let them make plays. And then offensively, we struggled a little bit early. They did what we thought they were going to do. They bullpenned a bunch of different guys. They threw all their pitchers at us, as they're getting ready for their district run as well. And they have some pretty decent arms to throw out there at us. And took us a few innings to get things going like we needed to. We struggled with, getting the bunt down that Saturday. And, eventually we did. And it led to us being able to run our offense. So the kids picked it up later in the game offensively, but the pitching and defense was there all day.
That was awesome. So then they get the win there, and then they got a break on Sunday. Monday they got to play again, and this time they're going to play a team, Colbert, Oklahoma. First time I think, Coach, they've come down here. I've never heard of them. So they come down to Whataburger Field. They're going to take on Tuloso Midway. TM gets the win there, 9-2. Erik Flores 1 for 2, 1 run. Landin Ford had a big game there, 3 for 3, 2 runs, 3 RBIs. In the circle for that game for the Tuloso Midway Warriors was number 9, Max Lada, pitched 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 1 run, 9 strikeouts. And then to finish off the game, number 3, Pat Acosta, pitched 1 inning, gave up nothing to 2 strikeouts. Again, when you look at these 2 games and you look at the pitchers, they're solid. Max, Pat, Osby, Emmanuel. You look at these guys in 2 games, and each one of those guys could go a lot longer if they needed to. Talk about the win, Coach, first, get into the game, and then I'd like to get your thoughts because it was Coach's brother that came down. I know you said in the last podcast, we're going to go after him. I know that you had never played him. I think this is the first time the 2 brothers had actually gone on the field coaching other teams. So definitely want to get your thoughts. I'm sure it was very emotional. I saw some interviews that you had. But before we get to that, talk about the game. What did you see? The Warriors, I think I saw some hitting, but the team actually dominated them, I think.
Yes, sir. We played a complete game. We didn't really have to bunt very much. The game didn't really call for that. We had one sack bunt, that helped lead to a big inning. But the kids swung the bat really well. We had 12 hits on the night. Landin led us with going 3 for 3. Had a huge triple in the 6th inning, driving in a bases loaded triple. Had a couple singles earlier in the game as well. Zach Morales had 2 singles and an RBI out of the 3 spot. Max was 2 for 3, had an RBI. And Richard Sanchez made some really, really outstanding plays at second base. At shortstop for us throughout the course of the night. And just all around defensively, it was a good night for us. Erik also threw out a runner. We had to strike him out, throw him out, I believe in the 2nd inning, which was big for us, killing some momentum because they got the leadoff guy on. And Max, he does what Max does. He had 9 strikeouts. Typically, it's a little more than what he normally has. He's more of a contact guy, but he was feeling a little bit more on Monday night. Velo was up a little bit, and he did an outstanding job for us on the mound. And altogether, it was a good collective win from the whole entire team: offense, defense, pitching, and coaches did our part too, and coached a pretty good game. Coach Vela called a great game against a tough 1 through 5 lineup. Their top 5 hitters are some pretty talented hitters. So some of them are college commits, and he did a really good job calling pitches to keep those guys off balance.
He did, and we saw some of the highlights throughout the game. They got some power on the other side.
Yes, sir. They have some big, strong kids. That's one thing you're going to get from Oklahoma kids. They're strong. They're strong kids.
They are. But you get the win. That was great, Coach. And now let's go to the part of the brother. Before we go into all of that, did he have any words after the game to talk? Did he have any words did he have any words about Toloso Miller, about your team, to say, okay, your team is?
Yeah, no, I mean, he definitely did. He knows our team. We talk all the time. I talk about his program that he runs there at Colbert, and then when he was in the college game, then he knows about our kids as well. And he was proud of our kids, just like I was proud of his kids. The way our teams competed hard against one another. It was a really tight game for 6 innings. So, but we just kind of pulled away from them in the 6th there. But he asked me to talk to his kids on Tuesday. So I went out and talked to them. They were practicing on our field Tuesday morning, and I went out and he gave me 10 15 minutes to talk to them, because I grew up in that program too. I played my first 2 years of high school baseball at Colbert High School, and played for the same guy that my brother played for, Coach Ballard, one of the best baseball coaches that I've ever known. And I was in their shoes, a kid from Southern Oklahoma, from Bryan County, trying to make a name in the sport of baseball and trying to go to college, like several of these guys are. So, gave me the opportunity to talk to him. And then I asked if he had returned the favor, and he showed up on his way to Mathis and talked to our kids, before he headed out to Mathis to coach a ball game. So, he just talked to our kids about what he saw in the game, and, ways to be better teammates, and just the potential that we have. And, it's going to come down to being good teammates and whatever you can to help the team get a win, which they kind of go hand in hand. That's kind of what his message to the guys was. So it was good to have him come talk to the kids, return the favor.
Coach, I think that was awesome for both teams to be able to hear from both coaches. Obviously, between you and your brother, a lot of baseball experience there, right?
Yes, sir.
You guys have played it, you've coached it. So for these guys, these players from both sides, to be able to hear from you and from your brother, it's awesome because that's a lot of baseball experience through a player, through a coach, through whatever you both have been through to be able to sit there. It's awesome. And I think anytime you can get that from coaches, from different coaches, and you get the opportunity to present itself that they can hear from another coach is awesome to help these kids. Because I think every kid that plays pretty much wants that opportunity to play at the next level, right? That's I mean, the questions I ask these kids is how long have you been playing? 4 years in high school. They've been playing this since they were like 4 years old, right? Some of them just play baseball, and all of the time, I think in all of uh, the tournaments, the off season, the select teams. I mean, when you put all that together, it's all to continue to be as best as you can get or be to get to that next level, no matter if it's D1, D2, whatever it may be, right? Just to be able to play at the next level. I had someone tell me that made it to college. Man, it don't matter if you're D1 or D3. If you're playing college baseball, that's all that matters when you get there. So
And that's right. I
awesome.
mean, that's a lot of kids nowadays. Not all, but a lot of them think it's Division I or bust. And there's good baseball at every single level, and it's an accomplishment to play any college sport, whether it be run track, whether it be play soccer, basketball, baseball. It's really hard to do that. Not everybody gets to the opportunity to do that. And so we always encourage our kids, if you have an opportunity to keep playing after high school, go play. You'll never regret it. You may regret not ever taking the opportunity because when the game's over, it's over. When you're done playing, it's you'll miss it. You may not miss it all the time, but you'll miss the camaraderie with the teammates and just the competition, the feeling of catching a ball, hitting a ball, throwing a ball, making a big play, watching your friends be successful, the crowd cheering. So that's always a recommendation for any kid trying to play sports. If you can keep playing and enjoy it. I mean, life's always going to be there. So
It is.
the real world's always going to come for you whenever you're done playing. So, but those playing days, when they're done, they're done. So it doesn't matter where you're at. If you can play, play.
That's what I heard that guy was saying, and it stuck to me. He said, "Man, it don't matter if it's D1." He said, "You go play and you have fun. You earned it, right?" And so,
Yes, sir.
always great to see that. So, I'm glad that they got that experience from two coaches that combined have a lot of experience as players. They can really help them understand. And then you still got some young guys that got a couple more years there with Los Midway to get to hear this message. Continue to work hard, right? So that was awesome. I'm glad that you got an opportunity. Not too many times do coaches that have brothers like that get the opportunity in any sport to play each other. So I'm glad that the you were able to get together there, especially at Whataburger Field, and play that game. That was awesome for the fans and for both schools. A lot of family coach come down from Oklahoma to watch you guys play.
Yeah, we had quite a few. Quite a few showed up, and most important, our mother was there. So our mom was there watching both of her sons coach against each other, and my uncle came down, rode down with my mother, and my brother's his wife's entire family came, which they're family to me as well. We're all pretty close, and it was just pretty cool to see everyone there and rooting on. Really, they wanted Colbert to win, and but my mom was torn. But they're rooting for our team to be successful. They're true sports people. They just wanted a good, clean game, and they were invested in both myself and my brother, but ultimately they wanted my brother's team to win, but the Warriors came out on top. So
On top.
and I let them hear about it too. So
There you go. There you go. You earned it. You earned it. The team earned it. Right? They're going to have to hear you. Coach, is there any chance down the road that Tuloso Midway travels up to Oklahoma?
we would like to. We explored the idea this last year, but we couldn't get like the scheduling, and if we were to go that far, we have to play the max amount of games we can and try to, be in a tournament and play 6 games. We looked into it last year, and it was just kind of too late to do that. and the way with their season, how it starts, it's a little bit different than ours. So it would take some work, but it's definitely something we'd be interested in doing. I think it's cool for our kids to see, the way people play baseball in other parts of, the state, which is why I went to Huntsville, which is why we go to McAllen, go to the Valley to play. Then to see how someone plays in a whole other state, it's pretty neat, and it's a unique experience for the kids.
It is, and they'd be able to see where it all started for their coach, right? They'd be able to go out there and see that's where it all started for you, didn't it?
Yes, sir.
A lot of good things can happen. Well, hopefully one day we'll be able to travel up there. I know you definitely love it, and the kids. It'd be good for the kids. I've always said you get to go see the other part of baseball. They play, even though it's baseball, it's played different in another state than it is in Texas. So
yes, sir, absolutely.
Experience. Hopefully that happens for you here soon, Coach. Let's talk about what's coming up now. So things are going to get real here. In terms of district play, it starts tomorrow. The TM Warriors will be traveling to Zapata, in a tough district, and then they come back and they'll play Robstown on Tuesday. Coach, I'd like to get your thoughts on both of those. With Zapata, last year, did you play them last year?
Yes, sir. No, not last year. We played them 2 years ago. Okay. We played them. They beat us out in the first round of the playoffs, and all the guys that were on that team for the most part are now juniors and seniors. So they're a seasoned bunch. They can play.
So we didn't play them last year. So now going up there, how well do you know that team, and what are you expecting from them tomorrow night over in Zapata?
I mean, we know them, I guess, about as well as you can know a team that's 2 hours away. We know that, the players that they had 2 years ago that are now, like I said, juniors and seniors, and they were good then, and I'm sure just like our kids that were on the team that were younger at the time have progressed, and I'm sure their players have progressed. And just looking at, at their previous matchups that they had this season, last year they were co-district champs in their district. So, and returned the majority of their guys, it's going to be highly competitive. And Coach Hinkle's the head coach there, and he does a really good job. And we're expecting a really good matchup and really good competition. Going over there, and then whenever they come back and return the favor to us.
Absolutely, and that'll be tomorrow as the Warriors will be traveling out there. Coach, what time are y'all scheduled to leave the school?
We'll leave here at 12:08.
12, and game time starts at
7.
7. Wow. Well, the good thing is there's no school on Saturday, so getting back late, the boys won't have to get up unless you're gonna have an early practice for them. Then they'll have to get.
Yeah, we'll practice that morning. We'll lift, and then we'll practice. And Zapata will come over. They'll bring their JV, and we'll have a JV doubleheader at 11 and 1 here at Warrior Field on Saturday.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, well that's good. And then, Coach, Tuesday, game number 2 of district. And that's Robstown, and I'm sure that's a home game, so I'm expecting a big crowd on both sides. You've done battle with that team over there. They know Teloso Midway, your neighbors. What are you expecting on Tuesday?
Hard fought game. I mean, Robstown kids are tough kids, and they really know how to play the game of baseball. Coach Castro, was a good friend of mine. We used to do some baseball camps, way back in the day, and he built that thing there at Robstown. And those kids, they know the traditions, and they know the meaning of Robstown baseball. So and that hasn't changed since Coach Miller came in. They're going to be eager to play and ready to beat us on our home field, and we wouldn't expect anything less. Coach Miller brings his own twist and his own coaching style to those players, and to the traditions they already have, and starting new ones. Like I stated earlier, he's awesome coach, awesome human being, someone I've known for a long time, and someone I used to have battles with when I was at Bishop and he was at Banquetti. We used to have knockdown, drag out games, and we expect the same thing this year.
Coach, when we talk a lot about the players, we really haven't touched on the coaching because when you got Toloso Midway, Robstown, and Cal Allen, they're all people that don't know that'll watch this podcast. They're right next to each other. It's not like you got to go 30 minutes from. They're right next to each other. You almost won't know where one town starts and one ends, right? But it's the coaching too. There's good coaching there. You're at Toloso Midway. I think it's Coach Miller. I watched when Robstown hired him. I was definitely following the news on social media. And then the coach out of Cal Allen, who's had a lot of success out there. And so the coaching too, that doesn't get talked a lot about, but it's so good in this district that's what makes it. Because it's like chess, man. I mean, your players are like, okay, you got to make this call. And when do you make that call? And is this going to work? It's not. I think for a fan, for me, I'll speak for myself. That's the thing. When I go watch a game, coach, I watch coaches, I watch players. Strategically, what are they going to do? In my mind, I said, okay, I would do this. So let's see if they're going to do. To me, that's what interests me when I go watch a game. I love to see it all. I love to see what the game plan is. I love to see. I just don't want to go watch the game and then it's over. Like I want to see reactions from people. I've always been that way when I was a kid. When I watched a football game, parents would say, you can watch the game. What time's it start? I want to see the pregame. You ain't seen the pregame. What time's it start? What time's it end? I never really liked it because I like to get the full effect. And something that we don't talk about here are the coaches and how good they are in this district, which just adds another ingredient to the whole thing, right? Which is very, very impressive to have these coaches and players playing. So again, for the TM Warrior community and fans, definitely come on out. The game will be in Zapata tomorrow. It is a little bit of a drive, but if you want to go out there, I'll definitely appreciate the support. But then on Tuesday, game 2 of this district 2025 will be right there at home. So you guys know what to do. I ain't got to tell you. Just get out there, be loud, cheer loud. We definitely want to go 2-0. And then next Thursday, when Coach comes on, we'll preview the other games. Man, Coach, good luck. I'm glad you guys won. I was hoping if your brother was going to be around, we could put him on the podcast. But I said, man, Coach's schedule is going to be a little different. But it would have been nice to have him on. And listen, Coach, if you can ever get him on from Oklahoma to come on the podcast, when you come on, just let me know. We'll make it happen. I'd love to have him on the podcast here with you and kind of pick his brain a little bit about.
Yes, sir.
So if you ever can make that happen, let me know. We definitely love to do that. Coach, thank you very much for your time, and I'll give you the final word. Anything you want to add?
Just, want to thank once again our fans and thank our parents. We had another team dinner last night, and it was at Dave and Buster's this week, and that was a lot of fun getting to play games with the kids. And I have to give a special shout out to myself. I did lead high score in the shootout. I was 137 points. So just Ace Lotta thought he had it won, the freshman point guard for our basketball team. But Coach Moody had to step in and show him how old timers shoot. But no, it was a lot of fun. But once again, it's about our parents. They, like I said, in the past weeks, they're the ones that make this thing go. Their support and their commitment to our players and our coaching staff and to our school district and our program. So, hats off again to our parents and to anyone coming to Zapata tomorrow night. Drive safe, and we'll appreciate you coming out. And if you can't come out on Tuesday night. We have a special guest. His name's Adrian. He's going to be throwing out the first pitch of the game. You can hear a little bit about him hopefully next week if I'm able to share some information on him. But he's going to throw out the first pitch for us. Mr. Van Matry is going to be the catcher, our superintendent of schools. So, and a good friend of mine, Coach Miller, we're going to get to coach our first game against each other with him and that Robstown Red. So we look forward to seeing the fans out there and, go Warriors.
Absolutely. Go Warriors. And that is what makes baseball in the Coastal Bend area really, really good, is to come on out and watch these coaches and these teams battle. Hey, I'm glad, Coach, the youngsters always think they can handle, they get this thing in their head that you're too old, you can't move. And so they start talking all this stuff, right? That they can't move no more. They're too old and they might hurt something, and don't bend over this way. Don't move too quick. And then they get those jokes about, knees popping. And then the game starts and they get schooled and then they can't do anything. So I'm glad to hear that. One for us guys, that was really, really good.
That's right. My shot was on last night. So
there you go.
Coach Vela had a good shot too.
Who?
Coach Vela had a good shot too.
Did he?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm glad. That's always a lot of fun, and then they kind of put their head down. They ain't got nothing to say. Yeah, right. They got to go back out there. That was awesome, Coach. Safe travels tomorrow. Good luck, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.